This one, another hot button issue, sent in on Twitter using the hashtag CornyDriveThru from Pete Boyle. I hope you've been following this. What are Jim's thoughts on WWE holding their next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, at Titan Towers, where apparently instead of there being ladder matches to get a suitcase, it is now a free-for-all battle from the ground floor. I don't know if they start in the parking garage, but at least the ground floor of Titan Tower to the very roof to get a suitcase that'll be hanging from something.
I think they should actually start in the parking garage, because there's like 3 or 4 levels of parking garage and then 4 floors on top of that of actual offices and everything. On the second floor, they used to have, remember Sergeant Slaughter's camouflage limousine from the 80s?
Of course.
That was still parked there with 4 flat tires in 1999, the last time that I pulled out of the office. Right over in the corner on the second floor. And it had been fucking 15 years. Anyway, do you think they planned this when they thought they were moving to new headquarters? And they were like, okay, we'll just tear the old one up, or, is this a recent idea, you think? Holy fuck. I mean, it's one of those things. I've mentioned it before, Stockholm Syndrome. It's one of those things where they have the money and they have the budget and they have the contacts for to have things built that looks like real walls that they can go through, or the special effects. The same thing with the Boneyard match. They have the budget and the wherewithal where they can do all kinds of wild shit with a concept like that. And that's what Vince likes, is concepts. And what if we just have everybody start at the ground floor? They got to fight to the roof. And then whatever's on the roof, they probably got to go up the fucking flagpole. Who knows? But that's an idea that one of the writers will have. And it's a concept that Vince can then imagine, and you'll see his eyes, get wide, and he'll, And then they'll start saying, they'll start pitching, this could happen on the 3rd floor where, they could go in the gym and do this, or they could go in the commissary and do that over the chicken fingers or whatever. And Vince loves that kind of shit. And to please Vince, much like, the dogs trying to please their master, once they've seen that, the eyebrow go up in the eyes and the thought process start, they will start pitching shit. And it'll run away from itself. And then they'll actually be doing it. And then, and of course, now the writers, they're happy to be doing anything that they've suggested. But at some point, for a wrestling person, seeing some of this shit go on, and there weren't even nearly as many writers there. There weren't writers there then, but just the people pitching and the production people and etc. You start to kind of get carried away with it. I said I was on board with the Buried Alive match. I got there in the arena and I saw it. I said, this is kind of preposterous. But you lose yourself in it. But the writers have no wrestling background, and they don't give a fuck about the integrity of anything related to a wrestling match. So now they're getting the opportunity to fucking do these cinematic mini movie things, and that's going to look great on their resume when they want to get a job at, Goodson Todman or whatever the fuck. And they'll do it. And it's probably going to be visually something. How about, there's a recommendation for it. It's going to be visually something, but they've got enough money to spend to where it'll look good on camera, but it doesn't have anything related to wrestling. If 2 guys were at the office and cameras were there to capture them in a contract signing, and they got in a believable argument, which led to somebody getting slapped in the face and somebody leg diving somebody, then I can believe they can fight out that office and down the hall, and they could do a couple of things and maybe take a nice bump into something and break some shit. But once it goes on, as we mentioned, a fight like that over a long period of time in the cool location gets old. When, we did a thing with the Fantastics and the Heavenly Bodies in Smoky Mountain, where we continued fighting in the back hallway of fucking East High School in Morristown. And goddamn, there were boxes and there were poles and there were brooms and there were things you'd find in the hall at a table and things you'd find in the hallway of a fucking high school gym. And then out the back door and jumped in our car to pull away. And Bobby Fulton caved the back windshield in with a fucking lead pipe. And that took 3 minutes tops. You know, you can't do it forever or it starts looking hokey, even with a good budget and being shot well. And to start off to say we're going to have a match like this, the sanctioned match where they're going to fight all through the fucking and go up to the roof. Well, yeah, it's cool, except it's also stupid for your credibility and for any legitimacy. And just so there's ways to have fights in cool locations, but I'm afeared this is going to be another Firefly Funhouse or fucking Last Man Standing instead of even the Boneyard at this point.
Do you think they'll go into Vince's office?
Well, I would think they almost have to if they're going to be there, but who knows? Maybe they'll go into my old office. They probably still got it roped off with caution tape. But I mean, it's in no way would this be a legitimately sanctioned thing that anybody would be allowed to do if it was real. Not only for the chance of, physically being injured themselves, but also because the company wouldn't want how many guys are in it? 6 or however many fucking people are in this Money in the Bank match. They wouldn't want 6 fucking professional fighters having a anything goes fight in their goddamn office building with the goal being to go all the way through the thing. That wouldn't be a thing that would happen if it was real. So therefore, automatically, you've just told people, well, we're just doing some hokey shit.
Well, here's another thing. And I guess maybe the McMahons have spent enough money throughout the last 35 years that they're not worried about it. But the state of Connecticut, I believe, is another one of these states here in the Northeast where everything is shut down. You're not supposed to have gatherings and do things. I can't imagine they're working in the offices of Titan Towers. Or is it towers or tower? I mean, it's one tower.
Titan Tower. That's what it is. Titan Tower.
I mean, I know Faulty Towers was technically one building, but
no, it's just one tower and it's not plural. Titan Tower. But do you think Vince gives a shit?
No.
And besides, I would love to see somebody come to Vince McMahon and tell him you've got to leave Titan Tower and take everybody with you. I'd love to see that. I don't care if it's goddamn General fucking Patton. So no, I don't think he gives a shit about that at all.